From the workshops of Škoda and Czech-designed to the battlefields of Poland, France, and the Eastern Front, this is the complete story of Czechoslovak armor in World War II. 21 vehicles that defined a nation's engineering excellence, from light tanks that became the backbone of the Wehrmacht's early victories to prototypes that never saw combat. This is every Czechoslovak tank, armored car, and experimental design used between 1938 and 1945. Light tanks. LTVZ-34, the Pioneer, Czechoslovakia's first indigenous light tank, entered service in 1934, representing a crucial milestone in the nation's military independence. Approximately 50 vehicles were built between 1934 and 1938, weighing 10.5 tons and armed with a 37mm Škoda A3 gun. The two-man turret featured a coaxial machine gun for infantry support. By 1938, most served in training roles, overtaken by more modern designs. Still, the LTVZ-34 proved Czech engineering could produce reliable armored vehicles without foreign assistance, setting the foundation for everything that followed. LTVZ-35. Known to the Germans as Panzer Kampfwagen 35T, this 10.5-ton light tank featured innovative pneumatic steering and transmission systems that made it easier to drive than most contemporaries. A total of 298 were produced between 1935 and 1940 by Škoda. The Germans captured 219 after occupation and immediately pressed them into frontline service. They spearheaded the invasions of Poland and France, proving surprisingly effective in combat. The 37mm gun could penetrate most light tanks of the era. 10 were exported to Bulgaria as the T11 and 126 to Romania as the R2, serving throughout the war. LTVZ-38, the masterpiece. Over 1,400 of these 9.5-ton light tanks were produced, making it the most successful Czech tank design in history. Armed with a 37mm Škoda A7 gun and powered by a reliable Praga EPA 6-cylinder engine producing 125 horsepower, the Germans designated it Panzer Kampfwagen 38T. It formed the backbone of Wehrmacht light divisions through 1941, proving mechanically superior to the Panzer I and II. The suspension used leaf springs and could handle rough terrain effectively. Its chassis became legendary, serving as the foundation for numerous German conversions throughout the war. AH-4, the export specialist. Exactly 157 of these nimble light tanks were built exclusively for foreign customers between 1936 and 1939. Iran received 50, Peru bought 24, and Romania purchased the remainder. The AH-4 was specifically designed for international sales rather than Czech military service. The 8.5-ton vehicle mounted either a 37mm gun or dual machine guns, depending on customer preference. It featured improved suspension for operation in mountainous terrain. None served with the Czech Army, but several fought in various theaters throughout the war, with Romanian AH-4s seeing combat on the Eastern Front. TNH Export Family, the foundation for a dynasty of export variants. The TNH design spawned multiple successful adaptations for different customers. Peru bought 24 as the LTP, specifically modified for high-altitude operations in the Andes Mountains, where thin air affected engine performance. Switzerland ordered their version as the LTH, which they designated Panzer 39 and produced domestically under license. Lithuania received their variant, the LTL, armed with a 20mm Solotherm autocannon instead of the standard 37mm gun. Each proved the remarkable adaptability of Czech tank design to meet specific customer requirements and operating environments. Tančík VZ-33, the tankette. Approximately 70 of these two-man reconnaissance vehicles were built between 1933 and 1934, based on the British Carden Lloyd design, but incorporating significant Czech improvements to reliability and crew comfort. Armed with a single VZ-26 machine gun in a ball mount, the 2.5-ton tankette proved woefully inadequate for modern warfare by 1939. The thin armor could be penetrated by rifle fire at close range. After the German occupation in March 1939, 40 were captured by Wehrmacht forces. The remaining 30 served with the Slovak Army throughout World War II in reconnaissance and internal security roles. German conversions. Marder III. The tank destroyer dynasty built on the proven Panzer 38T chassis. When the 38T became obsolete as a gun tank in 1942, its reliable mechanical components found new life as a tank destroyer platform. 3 distinct variants emerged over the war years. The SDKFZ-139 mounted a captured Soviet 76.2 mm gun, with 344 built in 1942. The SDKFZ-138 Ausf-H carried the German 75 mm PaK-40 anti-tank gun, with 417 produced. The final Ausf-M refined the design with the engine repositioned, and 942 were built. Nearly 1,500 Marders served on all fronts. Grille, the Cricket. This self-propelled heavy infantry gun mounted the massive 150 mm SIG-33 howitzer on the versatile Panzer 38T chassis, providing German infantry with devastating mobile artillery support. The Ausf-H, with its rear-mounted engine configuration, saw 90 produced in 1943. The improved Aust-K moved the engine forward and positioned the gun toward the rear for better balance, with 162 built. An additional 102 ammunition carrier variants supported frontline grilles. The vehicle could fire high-explosive rounds weighing 38 kilograms. Grilles served from 1943 through war's end across multiple theaters. Flakpanzer 38T. The anti-aircraft Guardian hastily developed to protect German armored formations from increasingly dominant Allied air power. Exactly 141 of these vehicles were produced in 1944, using available Panzer 38T chassis. The 20 mm Flak 38 autocannon was mounted in an open-topped fighting compartment with folding armor shields that could be raised for protection or lowered for better visibility. The gun could fire 420 rounds per minute. They served on the Eastern Front, in Italy, and during the Normandy campaign. By late 1944, the 20 mm proved inadequate against modern Allied fighter bombers and ground attack aircraft. Jagdpanzer Hetzer. The legend. This low-profile tank destroyer became the most produced vehicle built on the Czech chassis, with approximately 2,827 manufactured between April 1944 and May 1945 in an incredible production run. Armed with the potent 75 mm PaK-39L/48 gun and protected by heavily sloped armor up to 60 mm thick, the Hetzer proved devastatingly effective in defensive ambush tactics. Its compact size, just 2.17 meters tall, made it easy to conceal in urban ruins or forest. The official designation never included Hetzer during the war, but the nickname became universal post-war, possibly from a separate light tank destroyer project. Prototypes and experimental vehicles. STVZ-39. The medium tank that never was, representing what Czechoslovak armor development could have achieved without German occupation. 2 complete prototypes of this advanced design, also known as the V-8H, were finished in early 1939 before the March invasion halted all production. Weighing approximately 16.5 tons, it featured innovative torsion bar suspension and mounted a powerful 47 mm Škoda A11 gun capable of penetrating contemporary German tanks. The armor reached 50 millimeters on the frontal arc. Superior in many ways to the Panzer III WWII, it remained a testament to unrealized potential and Czech engineering excellence. Armored cars. Škoda PA2 Želva, the Turtle. Only 12 of these unique armored cars were built between 1924 and 1925, representing an early peak in Czech armored vehicle design. The PA2 featured revolutionary curved Art Deco armor plates designed to deflect bullets through angles rather than stopping them with thickness alone, an innovative approach ahead of its time. Armed with 4 Maxim VZ-24 machine guns in 2 turrets, it possessed a perfectly symmetrical design, allowing the driver to operate the vehicle at full speed in forward or reverse. Its distinctive appearance made it a symbol of interwar Czechoslovak military innovation and industrial design sophistication. Škoda PA3, the angular successor to the curved PA2. Škoda built 16 of these improved armored cars in 1927, adopting a more conventional approach to armor design. Unlike the PA2's experimental curves, the PA3 used traditional sharp-angled armor plates for simpler production and maintenance. It carried 2 VZ-7/24 machine guns in a rotating turret, plus a heavier ZB VZ-26 light machine gun for infantry suppression. The 4.5-ton vehicle served in cavalry reconnaissance units throughout the 1930s. Several were still operational in 1938 during the Sudetenland crisis, providing mobile firepower along threatened borders before the Munich Agreement forced Czechoslovak withdrawal. OAV-ZOR Triset, the Guardian. 51 of these rugged 6-wheeled armored cars were produced between 1933 and 1934, representing the backbone of Czech armored reconnaissance forces. Built on the reliable Tatra T-72 truck chassis, the 2.78-ton vehicle mounted 3 VZ-26 machine guns for all-around defense. During the tense 1938 Sudetenland crisis, OAVZ-32s were deployed extensively for border patrol and internal security missions as war seemed imminent. Simple in design, rugged in construction, and reliable in operation, they performed yeoman service. After German occupation, many were pressed into Wehrmacht service for security duties in occupied territories throughout Eastern Europe. Experimental prototypes. Škoda MU2, the tiny experimental tankette that pushed the concept of minimal profile to its absolute limit. This prototype focused on achieving the lowest possible silhouette for reconnaissance missions. Built in the mid-1930s, the MU2 featured an extremely cramped 2-man crew compartment with minimal headroom and very limited vision ports. Armed with a single machine gun, its low height made it theoretically difficult to spot across open terrain. However, the concept proved too limiting in practice. Crews could barely operate the vehicle effectively, and the minimal armor offered little protection. Only one prototype was constructed before Škoda abandoned the project for more practical designs. Škoda MU4, another experimental tankette attempting to improve upon the basic concept. Škoda incorporated lessons learned from the MU2 and earlier vehicles with this prototype. The MU4 featured better crew ergonomics with slightly more headroom, improved vision ports for situational awareness, and a more practical weapons mounting system. The suspension was refined for better cross-country performance. Only one prototype was built in the late 1930s. While it showed genuine promise and addressed many earlier shortcomings, the Czech military leadership had already decided that true light tanks like the LT-VZ-38 offered far more practical combat value than specialized ultralight tankettes. Škoda MU6, the final and largest attempt in the MU tankette series. This prototype represented Škoda's effort to create a tankette with genuine combat capability, rather than just reconnaissance value. Heavier and significantly better armed than its predecessors, the Mu-6 carried more substantial firepower in an improved turret mounting. However, it lost the extreme low profile that originally defined the tankette concept, essentially becoming a very small, light tank. By the time it appeared in the late 1930s, the entire era of the tankette was rapidly passing. Modern warfare demanded vehicles with better protection and firepower, rendering the tankette concept obsolete despite its mobility advantages. Škoda SIJ T3D, the cancelled medium tank that almost was. Development of this promising 15-ton medium tank design reached the advanced pre-production prototype stage in 1938, with multiple test vehicles completed. The SIJ featured a powerful 47mm Škoda A11 gun mounted in a fully rotating turret with superior traverse mechanisms. Armor thickness reached 30mm on frontal surfaces, adequate for the late 1930s. It was specifically intended for export sales to foreign militaries, with Yugoslavia, Romania, and several South American nations expressing serious interest. The German occupation in March 1939 immediately halted all production before any deliveries could occur, leaving only prototypes. F-4-H, the swimming tank. 3 complete prototypes of this ambitious amphibious light tank were constructed between 1938 and 1941 by the Českomoravska Kolben-Danek works. The F-4H could cross rivers and lakes under its own power using propellers, a valuable capability given Czechoslovakia's numerous water obstacles. The vehicle featured complex waterproofing seals, inflatable flotation bags, and a propulsion system for water movement. However, these systems proved mechanically troublesome and difficult to maintain under field conditions. Weight limitations to maintain buoyancy also restricted armor protection. None entered active military service, though German engineers continued development work for a brief period after occupation. Škoda T-32, SID, the Yugoslav connection. This specialized tank destroyer variant was specifically developed as an export vehicle for the Kingdom of Yugoslavia in the mid-1930s. Armed with a high-velocity 37mm gun optimized for anti-tank warfare rather than general-purpose use, the design emphasized firepower over armor protection. Several T-32s were successfully delivered to Yugoslavia in 1936 and incorporated into their armored forces. The design demonstrated Czech willingness and capability to customize vehicles for specific customer requirements and tactical doctrines. When Nazi Germany invaded Yugoslavia in April 1941, several T-32s fought against Wehrmacht forces before being captured and subsequently pressed into German service for occupation duties. From the innovative LT version 34 to the legendary Jagdpanzer 38T, Hetzer, Czechoslovak armor tells the story of a small nation with world-class engineering talent. The LT version 38 became one of the most successful light tank designs of the entire war, with its reliable chassis supporting everything from the Marder III tank destroyer to the fearsome Hetzer. Czech-designed vehicles served on every front where Germany fought, from the scorching deserts of North Africa to the frozen steppes of Russia. The Hetzer alone destroyed countless Allied tanks, earning a fearsome reputation despite its diminutive size and low profile. Innovative prototypes like the amphibious FIVH and the ST VZN-39 medium tank showed what Czechoslovak designers could have achieved had their nation remained independent. The PA-2 Jelva's Art Deco armor and the rugged OA VZ-30's reliable service demonstrated that Czech engineering excellence extended far beyond just tracked combat vehicles. Though Germany seized the factories, claimed the designs, and exploited Czech industrial capacity for their own war machine, every vehicle bearing the T designation, Czechisch, meaning Czech, testified to the undeniable excellence of Czechoslovak military engineering, small nation, world-class designs, a legacy written in riveted steel and proven in combat across 2 continents.